Hello YouTube, I'm back again with another video. I'm here to talk about the situation where the employee confronts his boss apparently for shorting his check. So at the same time, I really don't have context as to how it occurred, and we don't really have enough info as to why his boss would do that. But maybe something tells me within the workplace is that they don't, you know, where you like use the machine to basically check in, to be able to clock yourself in, to see that you punched in to go into your shift and then punched out to end your shift. Maybe there's a machine that they don't provide that allows them to do that, and they have to actually write their hours.
Did I not work all week? 5 days a week, right? So where the fuck is my money going? Time going on when?
You didn't work last Thursday.
When do time go in? Time going on Wednesday. And I did work last Thursday. I worked all week last week. Why the fuck you don't write our hours down? You see how you playing with my money talking about you didn't work last Thursday? Kobe, did I not work all week last week? I work every fucking day. Every single fucking day.
But at the same time, it makes the workplace more suspicious. As you can tell, the employee really gets heated with his boss, and rightfully so, if that is the case. Because to be honest, had this happened to me, if I was in this situation, you have every right to confront your boss, regardless whether he's in charge or not. If you have proof that you've done your hours and you punched in and punched out, there's no reason for him to basically alter that.
Now why the fuck is you playing with me, bro? You think, bro, like, come outside, bro, because that's how I'm feeling right now. Because you think this shit a game, bro. If you want to knuckle, we can go in the fucking rain.
Whether he feels a certain way, because at the same time, it shows that not only is the business corrupt, it shows they're not trustworthy.
Bro, my check is 7, bro, and I worked all week last week. Explain to me why my money is fucking short. Can you do that?
Yeah, I can.
How?
What time did you get the fucking
Stop
work?
fucking asking.
I'm not fucking. I'm serious.
So what's up, bro? You want a buck?
What
you want
time
a
is
buck?
for work?
Do you want a buck? Because we can fucking buck.
But I feel like the employee, the way he carried himself, I understand his anger, but the fact that's on video, him putting his hands on his boss.
What's poppin'? We can buck, nigga. You playing with my fucking money.
Get out of my face.
Ain't no fucking get out of your face. Stop playing with my bread, bro.
Get out of my face.
And what?
Get out of my
And
face.
what?
Get out of my face.
And what?
Get out of my face.
What you gonna do about my bread? Huh? Explain my money. What you gonna do about my money?
What time did you get to work on Monday?
What the fuck?
What time did you start work?
Bruh. Cause I really...
I'm being dead serious. What time did you start work?
How do you calculate how much money I make then, since you want to worry about what time I start work?
What time you fucking start
Bro,
work?
back up out my face, cause you spitting in my face, bro. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me.
I wouldn't really consider this guy my boss. He's gonna be a former boss, but I feel like he probably should have take this in. Whoever would be able to like resolve this issue, and if he has the proof, because I if he's able to call HR, or if they're able to get like human resources, this honestly should be resolved, or anything A lot of people might not agree, but sometimes, if that's the case, sometimes you gotta inform law enforcement. Because again, there's no way you should let anybody get away with taking your money from you.
The time you get to work, the time you're done, and the amount of work you get done.
How do you know what time I get off and come to work? How?
I know what time he gets here. Because I'm still here when he gets here.
You know what time he get here. How do you know what time I start working?
Because I know it takes him...
Answer my fucking question. How do you know what time I start working?
People can assume, but who knows if this man had to work his blood off and he's trying to like basically pay for his bills and trying to move on with his day and eventually go on to the next job. Because to be fair, whatever he's working, like this clearly is this is most likely just a temporary job. I wouldn't really see fit if I'm working with someone who's basically trying to take advantage of my hard work, who refuses to acknowledge the work that I put in, especially if I'm going through that, and regardless how much effort I put, and they could care less that I'm doing them this much of a favor with the amount of times I helped, in itself is a problem.
Are you there?
No, I'm not.
So how the fuck do you know? How do you know what time I get off work?
I know he's...
How do you know what time I get off work? How do you know what time I get off work? I want to hear this shit. How?
I know
How
he's
the
here...
fuck you gonna calculate my money then? How you gonna calculate my money and you don't know what fucking time I get off work?
Easy.
And for those who might be unaware, I see the law. I really do see the logic behind as to why their staff that treat employees a certain way, whether they be disrespectful or they mouth them off or judge them, is simply because they're looking for a reason to fire that person, only so they end up paying them more money. That has to be the only reason why. Like, and it may be hard to believe. They might not entirely have an issue with you in person, because you'll be surprised that their attitude changes when they talk to you outside the workplace. They're really trying to put pressure on their employees in hopes that they don't end up paying more money, because they fear that it might cost them their business. And of course they do need employees, but they need someone who's literally loyal.
How?
I'm here after he gets back. Turn your fucking phone off!
Man, you better handle what's in front of you. Your business, don't worry about this.
Who literally kiss the ground that they walk on. And someone who's been working a lot longer, who isn't like a new employee, a new hire. So that's really my knowledge based on my experience. There's no guarantee that they're going to be willing to work with you, trust you, help you out, and be able to promote you. Don't always get your hopes up, you guys, because I've always been in this situation, and I talked about how corrupt the workplace can be, and it's not always going to be for you, but it's always best if you don't like it, always move on to the next and try to make as much money as you can and be able to provide whatever necessary like funds that you need in order to help you move forward into the future, move on and be able to strive for more success, and you could be able to capitalize off of that. But that's why I say to myself, it always feels so much easier being like able to work with yourself, being independent, realizing what you're capable of. And sometimes you can be able to make something of yourself, but like there are times where you need to be able to impress people to make a living. It's just nowadays that the only reason people are even relying on the workplace simply because that's the only way of being able to like live. And it's basically a factor that this is what attributes to what needs to happen in our normal life, so that we can so we can be able to pace ourselves, continue to make sure that we live another day, so that we don't end up on the street or end up being broke, so we don't have to rely on food stamps, having to beg for money, because situations like this could be a reason why some people would rather be homeless or pretend to be homeless and leech off of others. But a lot of times it's always best to avoid that. If you can find somebody, or you find a group of people or staff that's willing to support you and understand you, then 100% that's a job that you should 100% keep. and if you know they're reliable and they have faith in you and they respect you, then there's no reason to actually be able to separate from that work environment. And the reason why I say that is that even if they're helping you out, they're giving you an opportunity, and you decide to mess that up, then that's your fault. And when they give you several chances to be able to make something yourself, and hopefully you can be able to contribute within the workplace, now that will be the opportunity to prove yourself that you're capable of being able to show what your skills are, and that you'd be able to make money and by having people rely on you, and that you're not holding others back. Because once they do find out, it might not end up the way you want it to be.
Cause you playing with my bread, bro. You really playing with my money, bro. You really gonna make me see about you, bro. If my motherfucking check ain't reimbursed next week, we have a problem. I know you can't fix it now, so I ain't gonna get on your fucking ass. But you playing with my bread, bro. You think it's the game. You think I won't go on your shit. You really think I won't go on your shit? I don't give a fuck about this job. Cause literally you've been playing with me for the last fucking 3 weeks. Now if you feel like you boss up and you wanna jump out your seat, there's plenty of fucking space outside. Plenty. Stop playing with my fucking bread, bro.
But at the same time, I do want to go back. I've been too long-winded. Because I don't know the end result of this. Hopefully, the employee did get his money reimbursed. But I will say is that, considering the way he handled it, I can't help but think that it wasn't resolved and it didn't work out for him. But who knows? Maybe he was confused. This could have been maybe his only option. But at the same time, if he has the proof, then he would have been able to retrieve the money that was taken from him. So most likely this was not the job for him, and that they had been heavily holding back regardless of his efforts and the hours that he put in. So I would definitely flip out. The thing is, the thing is though, he should have made sure that this was on camera. Unless he's recording proof that he got swindled. But if it was me, this is something that I would keep private. I would be upset. I would go in at my boss. I wouldn't get physical, but I would call that person out, but without the camera there. And that's where he screwed up. But overall, I feel like I said enough for you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to check for more upcoming content later in the future. Be sure to check your notifications. Comment, like, subscribe. Thank you.
また夜が明ければお別れ夢は遠き幻にあなたを追いかけていた光の中で流れるたび暖かい風を頼り春を告げ踊り出sunshine夏を目打ち野原から秋の月登ったままるさを描冬も過ぎまた月に数えまだまだの奥にあるいつから夏と過ぎた青空片手をつなぐあなたに歌ういつや思い出今呼び覚ます記憶の中でいざ歩き出す遥か彼方響く声が Every day 書き綴れば待っていた歴史の果て Ring of Bells 蘇る